Welcome, Jacob. Introduce yourself to the audience.
All right, yeah. So I'm Jacob. I'm a marketer for e-commerce brands currently. I'm also working a little bit with content creators in the fitness space. I've worked some in the financial space, weight loss space, but mostly it's been e-commerce. And right now I'm focusing on CRO, so conversion rate optimization for e-com brands, and then move on to just in general market communication. So funnels, advertising, like in general, whoever needs it, just come to me and I'll help you out. So that's basically what I do. I'm a marketer.
That's pretty interesting because I remember a while back you were just a simple copywriter. So can you explain that a little bit, like your journey?
Yeah, and you know what? That's a funny thing actually, because we're all aware like copywriting and all of that, what we think about it. But the thing is, I had this subject. I could pick a marketing subject in high school, and so I was first introduced to marketing when I was 16. I think I'm 21 now, so 5 years ago. And I always thought like this is epic. Like I want to do this. This is like business. This is money. I want this. So then I scored all the top grades my first year. Then the second year comes around, the last year in high school, and then I could pick like the advanced marketing for that subject. And I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. And again, all the top grades. I love it. This is awesome. And then I remember asking my teacher, like, because my very first business idea was computer cleaning services and computer like structuring, like building computers for people. That was like my original business idea. And so I asked my teacher, like, how do I get started? What do I do? Hold up, where was I? Yeah, my first business idea was computer cleaning services and computer structure services for like older people and people in general. And I remember asking my teacher, was like, all right, so I love marketing. I love what we're learning. I love this. This is like it. I want to do this. How can I start my business? And she was like, well, the first thing you have to do is get a degree at a university. And I was like, all right, cool. We're doing that. I applied for a position. I got in. And then right after I got in, HU came in, and I was like, well, it's $50. I'll give it a go. And then I learned copywriting and affiliate marketing. And keep in mind, for 3 years or 3 to 4 years, everyone around me told me like, oh yeah, your business thing, that's cool, but you need a degree. Like it's a must. You need to have it. And so I had this forced belief for like 3 to 4 years that I need a degree. So I applied for university, got my loans, got my everything, and then I discovered copywriting and affiliate marketing. And then I was like, oh fuck, I don't need a degree. Like I just need to learn shit. That's all I need to do. And then that was like a big whoa. Like my belief was just. I mean, I was like, for 3 full years, I believed something that is false, and everyone around me told me something that is not true, like at all. So yeah, so I learned copywriting, and I was like, well, I only know copywriting, but I refuse to only be a copywriter. So in my mind, I always thought that like I'm a marketer. I'm like in general, I'm just a marketer. Like I never referred to myself as just a copywriter, even though like maybe subconsciously I was thinking that, but like I never framed myself as only a copywriter, not even with clients, not with like anything really. Um, and so now that I'm learning more about marketing in general and sales and business, and I can clearly see where like only knowing copywriting where that's headed and what happens when you're like only limiting yourself to being a copywriter. I know what's happening. Now I'm thinking like, holy shit, I technically I already knew this like way way back, like 1-2 years ago, and I already then framed myself as a marketer, even though I only knew copy. Like I didn't know how to do research properly. I didn't know what market segmentation was. I knew like none of that. I just knew copy, but I was like, nope, I'm a marketer because I advertise on the internet. So that's basically,
That's interesting. So
yeah.
when you say like HU came around and stuff, you learn what was your experience with it?
Yeah, that's a
with
good
with
question because I wanted to ask that.
with HU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good like starting point because I knew nothing. Like everything, when for example, if I saw a YouTube video from like a dude who had a Lambo and was like 25, I always thought like, oh, he has a good degree probably. Like he's been to school. And I always like I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about sales. I don't think I even knew what sales was. I only knew what marketing was. And then yeah, dude, I learned a lot from HU, like business wise, because I came in with this belief like you need a degree, and then HU like broke me of that belief, and now I'm like, well, shit, I want to drop out. So, but like it was a good experience for starting out because obviously I learned a lot. I wouldn't have done the things I have done to get here. For example, I wouldn't have generated the amount of sales I have. I wouldn't have the clients I have. Like I wouldn't have any of it if it wasn't for HU. But at the same time, like I hit a plateau, I guess you can say, where I felt like I knew it all. Like I felt I like because I thought I know everything. There's nothing extra to marketing. I just need to like put in the reps and just get better at this one thing. And then my friend introduced me to a certain persona who was also, I think he has like 25 years of experience in marketing. And I was like, oh shit, I know nothing. Everything I know, it's like a tiny 1% of it all. I know literally nothing. So I went from like this dude who's like super cocky, like, oh, I know marketing. You know nothing. I'm better than you. To literally like overnight, like I know nothing. I'm stupid. Everybody knows more than me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. Right. So, well, yeah, that was basically my experience. It was very good for starting out, but at a certain point, I hit a plateau and I let my ego drive me, if that makes sense. My ego kind of like stopped me from searching new knowledge and evolving and in general just like leveling up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And for everyone watching, actually, Jacob was the one because I usually quote Alex Hormozy a lot. He was the one who put me on to Hormozy. But then, kind of going back to that, right? I feel like most people, like this is something as well that I learned. People think dropping out of school is just saying no to information. It's something that Hormozy said. Like in your 18, 19, like the beginning, what, 10 years of your entrepreneurship journey, you just need to be getting information. And I think that's where people really fail because people get to a certain amount, let's say 5K, 10K, which is seems ridiculous to the normal person. Then they stop like learning, they stop acquiring information. So you're really limited to a certain point. I feel like it. What do you guys think of that though? Because I feel like most people just hit one point and they're like, okay, now I'm settled. Now I'm good. This thing is good enough for me and I should be set for life. But markets change, especially in entrepreneurship. So just like how ChatGPT just came in now, copywriters 2 years ago were kind of like the thing you could just write a couple emails, get thousands of dollars, but now it's like ChatGPT can do almost the same thing that you can do. So it's kind of like expanding your skill set. And the only way you really do that is always by learning.
Yeah, I mean it's funny first I want to touch on the AI thing. Let's say you're still just a copywriter, right? Let's say you have like 5, 10, 15 years of experience as a copywriter, like solely writing copy. All right, anyway, so yeah, if you're only a copywriter, but you have like 10 years, 5 years, 15 years of experience, I genuinely don't think AI will replace you, but only make you better. So, I mean, sure, if there's a copywriter who's been doing copy for 5 months and he's been writing emails and it costs a business owner 4,000 a month, and the kid doesn't really know copy all that well, like, yeah, he'll probably be replaced, right? But
Yeah.
and that's another thing, because these kids, and it's mostly kids, they get paid to save time. Business owners pay them to save time, because a business owner who's like maybe like a 7-figure CEO or whatever, he doesn't really have time to write 4, 5, 6 emails per week, right? He doesn't have time for that. So he just pays a dude to just, like take it over, like take it from me. But if you get paid to think and save time, that's a whole nother level, right? So back to the copywriter thing. Because these world-class copywriters, they get paid to think, to like strategize, and like actually think, not just save time. They actually have to think. And I think as long as you get paid to actually like think and not just be given a template and save time, I think you'll be good, man. I think AI will actually help you save time, but your brain is still needed. It needs to be there.
This is an interesting point, actually, because I had a client who had me writing emails before I knew anything other than emails.
Mhm.
When ChatGPT came out, he was like, "Oh, you got to start using ChatGPT." And I was like, "No, man, ChatGPT doesn't know anything, doesn't know how to write it." And then a month later, he comes to me and he literally says to me, "I'm pretty sure ChatGPT can write like better emails than you. You need to use it." And I was like, "Shit, I'm
There you
about to
go.
lose my client."
There
And
you
I was
go.
like, my whole world got crushed. I was like, "What?"
There you go.
And then because everyone around me, like all these other copywriters saying, "Nah, ChatGPT can never replace you." And then this guy was like, I don't really need you anymore."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I come to this guy now, and I'm like, "Right, we've got to do a cold traffic funnel with the Facebook ads." And I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This ain't ChatGPT territory anymore."
Yeah.
I got him back last second, but oof.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
this is a great example of being paid to think instead of saving time. And yeah, I mean, like that's just being real, right? Like if you have like 3 months of experience, you had some course or whatever, like yeah, it's cool, but you're not, it's still easy to replace you, especially with GPT-4 out, because I've seen some stuff that it's good. Like it's very good.
dangerous.
It's very good. But also the thing about these people telling you like, oh, it won't replace you, like they're all right. Let me start over. So you have all these like biz up people, right? You have like coaches or mentors or whatever that purely focus on like copy, like getting your first 10K month. Most of it today is like either high ticket closing, copy, and affiliate marketing, and then ecom, right? But the copy part is growing, and then they sort of want you to believe that it cannot replace you, because if you think that it can replace you, your morale goes down, your effort goes down, you turn into hopeless, right? Like, oh shit, I'm fucked, right? And once that happens, they'll stop paying. Like they'll be like, oh, I need to do something else. Like this copy thing, fuck that, right? So that's like, yeah, that's pretty much how it is, right? It's easy to still be replaced, but if you actually know like marketing, like not just writing shit, but actually like the strategy behind things, like you'll be good. Like for example, most marketers nowadays from like, I don't know, Twitter or IG or whatever, like up and coming, like 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, whatever, they started off with copy and then turned into or switched to media buying and then ads and whatever, and like solely advertising. And in reality, marketing is only like 8%, or sorry, advertising is only like 8% of marketing, because marketing is driving markets. Promoting and advertising is only a small fraction of it. And the real, like, it should be like research and then find out the objectives, what not to do, blah, 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 what our audience wants, create a product based on it, and then turn to tactics. Because advertising and promoting shit, that's tactics. That's not a strategy. That's like tactical shit. So if you just know how to actually think, like, you know what you're doing and not just writing, like, you'll be good. Because it's different to get paid for words than it is to get paid for systems, like mechanisms, like everything, right? So that's what I have to say about like AI. Like, for example, where I am now, like, AI will only help me. It cannot replace me because it doesn't really know what I know, and it doesn't have the experience that I have. So I can use it to like to strengthen me, get me even further. But if you're like still stuck at being a copywriter 6 months in, you're fucked. Like, that's being real. Like, you're fucked. Like, you need to genuinely evolve. You need to learn deeper shit, because then you're fucked. Like, seriously.
And I think also, like, one of the things is that, kind of going back to what you were saying earlier of people giving themselves a certain frame, giving themselves the title copywriter. And once you do that, and that's something I learned as well recently, but as soon as you do that, then it's like, okay, copywriters can only get 10K a month, and copywriters only do X, Y, and Z. So it doesn't really allow you to like innovate yourself. It's what you really label yourself as well, because people be like, you tell someone something else, people are really arrogant. I noticed a lot. Like, they think they know things where they don't really know things. Like, I'm telling you something, or you're being told something by a person who's ahead of you. You should just listen, you know? Kind of something that I'd said earlier, I think in one of the episodes. But it's more going back to like the title, the frame of how people frame themselves. Because if you think about it, if you say, or all of us here, let's say we say we're full stack marketers, we're full entrepreneurs, and there's no limit to what we can learn, to what we can do. But as soon as you frame yourself as I'm just a copywriter, then that already puts you to income of only 10K a month, and you can only learn copy, maybe a little bit of like ads, a little bit of media buying, but it kind of caps you as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people as well that they're making like, I think 4K a month or something, and they think they're like top of the world. But you can only rinse someone's email list so much. If like, okay, you made your client, let's say 18K from their list, but how many 18K months can you make if you don't know how to get more people into that list? All right,
Yeah.
opt-ins with free value, that's cool. But how do you get people to that? Like, you got to keep going down. If you just know the email part, then you're fucked. And you won't get it. Like,
I
you get
mean,
professional successes and look like a genius, but later down the road, yeah, you don't have anything else to do.
I think, and this is gonna be a bit, I don't know, maybe controversial, but I think you can still make a ton of money with only emails. But the difference is, most people that I know, they only like write the emails. They only know how to write an email, design it, schedule it. That's really all they know, right? They don't know how to optimize, I don't know, flows or sequences. They don't know how to turn the email list into a more engaging one. Like, imagine like a big bubble, right? And they're like very like pointing one direction in that bubble. There's only like very tunnel vision on like per email. They don't have this vision of like the whole structure of everything. They only have their sight on this one email, and like, what will this email do? Instead of thinking like, what will this email do in addition, like as an addition to the rest of the emails? How will that affect my brand? How will that affect my relationship with my audience? How will that, I don't know, help me scale, for example? Like right now, what I'm focusing on now is building out email infrastructures for e-com brands. And that's not writing copy. Like writing copy in that sense is like, it's fucking easy. It's very easy. What's hard is the strategy and the tactics behind it and optimizing shit and knowing how to optimize it. That's the hard part. Because everyone knows copy to some degree. Like every business owner knows copy to some degree. That's why they want you to take time, because they do know how to write copy. They just don't have time, right? And so another thing I see, and then also you can use copywriting for a bunch of stuff. You can use it for sales pages, landing pages, emails, ads, captions, tweets, like a bunch of shit, right? Because copywriting in itself, to put it simply, it's writing content that goes out to the audience. That's how I view copywriting. Whatever you write and goes out to the audience, that's copywriting. It doesn't necessarily have to be a direct response piece of copy. Like some of the emails I write, they don't have any like CTA or whatever. It's just like a simple branding message or brand affirmation, for example. But some of these copywriters, they hear like this thing about AI, right? And they panic. They panic that they will get replaced, because deep down they know they will get replaced if they don't like evolve. So instead of learning stacking skills, like Hermosia said multiple times, right? Like stacking skills. So copy, and then media buying, and then designing maybe, and then CRO maybe, and then like stacking these skills. And so these guys, they don't do that. They don't skill stack. What they do instead is just get better at this one skill. And that's all they're focusing on.
They go deep.
And that's like, what's up?
They go deep, but in the wrong direction.
Yeah. That like, and then there's of course like nothing wrong with mastering a skill per se, but you shouldn't be stuck on that skill. You can master a skill set, because that's way better than just one skill. Like for example, if I want to master funnel build outs, that's not just copy. Like you have market research, you have copy, that's also a part of it. You have strategy, you have to know how to build out a customer journey, for example. Like all these things, right? You also have to know them. Because a funnel in itself, like I build out funnels, when I hear people say that, what they really know is just the copy. And the copy part is not like, that's maybe like 15% of the work, you know? Same with my emails. Like at first with this agency that I'm working with, for example, at first I came on as a copywriter for emails, but now I do the emails so fast that I literally spend a day on them. And then I ask them like, can I start doing like strategy stuff? Because this copy thing is becoming too boring. And they're like, yeah, sure, you can, sure, I'll add you to this Slack channel. So now I do strategy for the like one-time campaigns, like sequences. I plan them out, like all that stuff. I also think like designs. I also do strategies for like flows, like automations. So I've gone to this small, tiny, whiny copywriter to an actual direct response marketer for email for e-com brands. And with it, they increased my retainer as well. So I can't complain, right?
So win-win.
Cool. Say again?
So win. It's a win-win.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. But so for everyone watching, if you guys don't know yet, Jacob is the e-com king. He's generated thousands off of e-com, and kind of going off that, Jacob. So I wanted to ask you for like, let's say people, newbies. I've not been in the game as long as you have, of course. I don't know about Andy. I'm not too sure, but you've been in the game longer. You've seen more things. You've seen more people come in and out. What's the top things that you've noticed that most newbies make mistakes on? You know what I mean?
Like for mark or copywriters slash
For
marketers?
copywriter marketing as a whole, as the whole entrepreneurship journey? Like what's something you see people come in, then after a couple months, I don't know, it could be mindset, it could be their work ethic, it could be almost anything. I'm just trying to see, tell the audience, the people, because they're gonna be people watching 3 months into the game, 6 months into the game as well. So I'm just trying to see what you've seen that has caused the biggest demise in like new people coming into the game.
Their ego. I think they let their ego dictate their consistency of action. So for example, and I know a bunch of people that also have done this, but when I first got in, I got my first client 3 weeks in, I think. And
That's what
I
I
thought
say,
like, oh
ecom
man,
king.
this is, say again.
Ecom king, but go on.
And then I was like, oh man, this is so fucking easy. Like this was, is that all the, like, is that what everyone complains about, getting clients? Like, this is so easy. And what happened next is I thought I'll be able to turn that, what was it? $150 client into a $3,000 a month retainer. I was going to write ads, I believe. I delivered the ads and I never heard from him again. And then I was like, well, shit, that sucks. So I had a big expectation of the outcome, not the process. I thought that just because this happened, this outcome, that means this outcome is bound to happen. And I kind of put the process in the back. Like that was ignored pretty much. So yeah, ego and like consistency, expectations to like the outcome. Like, dude, when I hear people say like they just got into the fucking game, like they just got into the game, and they tell me, dude, in 2 years I'm gonna be a billionaire. I'm like, what? What? How is that even possible? No, you won't. Maybe you'll even hit 10K by then, if you're lucky. And that's not usually the case. There are people who spent 3 to 4 years without earning a single penny. And they're now multimillionaires, right? But 3 to 4 years, like that's, and you come in here saying like 2 years, and you'll be big one. The first big mistake I have or I see is expectations to like the outcome. I think that is the biggest one because I know I had it. I know people who have had it, and it's like, it's, to be honest, it's delusion. Like when every like major multi-millionaire tells you, bro, if you want to get ultra rich or to achieve your dreams of whatever, and if you're not willing to go at least 10 years without seeing any result, like just give up. Like just don't even start. And then I always was like, nah, fuck that. 2 years, you're gonna see me in a Lambo, bro. 2 years and you see me there. Now I'm what is it? I think almost 1.5 year, maybe 2, I don't know, into this. And bro, the fact that I thought I'll have a Lambo by now, that's just fucking ridiculous, bro. That's just delusion, like literally. And then it's like, yeah, I might have done 10K, 20K, 30K, whatever. Like that's cool, but how long will that last? Like, will I have 10 times the amount in 5 years? That depends on what you do now. Because people now, they have expectations to the outcome because this one outcome happened. For example, landing the first client, getting the first 10K, getting the first 20K, whatever. And then they fail to delay the gratification. They let their ego take over. They lose the consistency, and they have this weird perception that just because this one outcome happened, the second outcome that's bound to happen. It has to happen because it all falls together. That's not true. That's false. It gets harder and harder and harder and harder. Like, in my opinion, the hardest thing is to land your first client, no, your first retainer, your very first retainer. That's the first hard, if you're like into service-based stuff, that's the first hardest thing. And then the second hardest is, I think, scaling to 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, 30K, 50, 100K, whatever. So scaling and getting that first thing, and then scaling beyond that. And people fail to do so because they let their ego take over. And now in their mind, maybe they've told people like, oh yeah, I just started doing this, I'm gonna get rich. And now that they've had like earned double the amount of money that their friends have, and they're bragging about it, they get their status, they get their dopamine going, and it's like, all right, I've done it. People view me as higher than them now. I'm happy, I'm good, I'm cool. And that's another thing. That's the first thing, right? Expectations to the outcome, not delaying any gratification, letting their ego take over. And the second thing is getting into this to prove people wrong. So for example, or just simply earning money now, not having a clear like mission or vision or whatever. They just want money now. It has to happen now. So let me explain. Let's say you're a nerd or a loser or whatever, and then people like laugh at you for your goals. Like you tell people like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire. Not just because you want it per se, but just because it's cool to you and people would view you higher. So basically you have your goals based on proving people wrong, not because you yourself want them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they buy a course or get into a program or learn a skill. It all goes well. Suddenly they hit their first 10K at age 17. Older friends have like part-time jobs, barely making $1,000 a month. And it's like, you're this big baller now, 10K a month now. Like, fuck all of you, I'm better than you. And you're like, dopamine, it gets going. Your status is there. Like, yes, I've fucking done it. Like, I'm better than them. And then you stop. You hit a plateau. Like, you stop. You have no further, you don't have this next hunger, this next drive, which you, in my opinion, you should constantly have, like this next hunger. I wanted to have 2 clients. Now I have 2 clients. What's next? All right, I want 3 clients. Cool. Now what's next? All right, I want 6 clients. All right, how can I get 6 clients now? And then you constantly like search for more challenges, and you constantly have this hunger and this drive of continuing to succeed and level up and simply improve. So I think that's like it. Oh, and then also, I think this is also a major one, but focusing too much on the now instead of the future. Like people would a lot of people actually, and this is kind of scary, but a lot of people would sacrifice. No, sorry, let me put it like this. A lot of people would rather choose a 10,000 a month retainer for writing emails and then something else, rather than a 2,000 a month retainer who has been in or has done what you want to do, like is your pure like what he has done, you want to do, like you want to be this dude, and he's willing to mentor you, teach you other skills, and basically pay you for him mentoring you. But some people would still pick the 10K because it's now. They get their gratification and their reward now. They fail to think very long term. They fail to think big. And then I'm not gonna say any names, but there are some people from a certain group that just because they're like, I don't know, let's say fucking 16, 17, 18, and most of their friends do like 2K a month, and they're doing 5K a month, they're suddenly like this huge baller. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like that's good for you, good shit. But how long will that last when your ego won't let you evolve, when you don't have this next hunger, when you're not learning every day, when you're not searching new skills, you're not basically earning or increasing your earning capacity. And it's
Yeah.
yeah, like people are way too focused on earning stuff now instead of in 10 years. Like, for example,
Yeah.
I would rather be fucking broke. I would rather have 2K a month for 5 years, not seeing any result, and then only 6th year, suddenly, boom, I do 2 million a month. Like, out of fucking nowhere. I would much rather have that than have 20K now for like 2 years, 3 years, and then struggle to find new shit um like learn and scale. So yeah.
Depends on like the person, right? Because if the person only wants a certain lifestyle, they'll just stop there, or like you said, to just get better than other people to just prove them wrong. And it depends.
Yeah.
But the real entrepreneurs and the real people who are gonna make it really big, they're focused on the way long goal out there of being rich when they're 30 or even 40, not even thinking about the
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, people just, and it's especially like young people, like 15 to 18 to 19 or whatever. They, and of course, it's like, it's up to you. I'm speaking of my own like opinions, right? But I don't think that just because you do 10K a month, that doesn't mean you're successful, in my opinion. Like, if your goal is to be a G and be rich, 10K a month is nothing. Like,
Yeah.
like you want, like, if you want a Lambo and you're just hitting like 10K consistently and you're like all happy and your hunger is gone, you'll never get that Lambo, for example, right? So people just suck at learning new shit and evolving. There's no drive. There's nothing. It's money, 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 money. It's earning, earning, earning. There's never any learning, right? And that's why so many people, it may be cocky, but I think so many people will fall off in 2, 3 years. The people we even may know, like some people I know, I think they'll fall off after a certain period of time because there's no drive, there's no like deeper purpose. There's just earning, and it's earning because they saw a cool Lambo on the internet and I want to give it a try, a go. They do this shit for 1 to 2 years, 1 to 2 years, and they're like, oh, this is too hard. Fuck this, I'm out. So yeah, like right now, I don't really care about earning as long as I pay my bills, which I can do. But I spend a lot of money on like self-education, like courses, programs, mentors, like all that shit. I spend quite a lot of money on it. And I'm gonna continue doing so because right now I want to learn as much as possible.
So like,
Yeah.
what do you think is key? So we said like what's wrong with new players coming in, but what's key for them to like start doing immediately, like when they start, like do these things?
I'd
That
say
depends. That depends if they have money or if are they broke or do they have money? Broke?
yeah,
15-year-old,
All right.
$200.
Learn a skill, create your offer, blast out outbound, cold calling, cold DMs, cold emails, whatever. Keep blasting, keep improving on your skill, learn new skills. As soon as you get your first 1K retainer, 2K retainer, I don't know. Let's assume you live with your parents as well. Don't go like crazy hype with the money. Invest that money in a new course or a new skill. Get more clients, invest even more, and be consistent. I think that's just do that. Just do more of everything. So whenever you see something working, don't stop on it. Don't get like super cocky. Just do double the amount or triple the amount. Like even 5x the amount. Like for example, when I did cold emails, I found a winning email, did 20 emails, got what was it, like 5 replies, 6 replies on it. Next day I just pumped out 80. I just and I got so many more replies and I was like, holy fuck, I need to be doing way more of that. So don't, like, if you find something that's working, don't stop, keep going, learn a skill, create your offer. Actually, here's a mental switch. Find something of value to offer people. Don't think stuff to sell. Think how you can provide value to a marketplace. For example, I'm not thinking like, oh yeah, he's gonna pay me to build out his email infrastructure or a funnel or whatever. He's paying me so I can generate, or I'm providing him with even more profits than he had first, and then money will follow either way. So
I've spoken to a lot of people who are in the game and are out the game, and a lot of the times they think giving more than taking is stupid. They feel like as if it's, wait, why would I do that? The fuck?
yeah, that's yeah. I mean, if you want to go really big, like for example, with I don't know, let's say you're building a brand on Twitter, and you have a lot of experience in a certain niche and a certain skill, and you want to monetize at some point. I think the ideal way to do so, to get like a really strong following, is to just keep giving value, keep giving, and you don't sell anything until they ask you for it, until they ask you for a product. Like, hey, do you have anything to purchase? That's how I would do it. And then I mean, it's greed, man. That's what it is. It's greed. And people, because people look at it the wrong way as well. They look at it as just giving without any sort of return, because they think that they always have to get a return on something. But I don't think that's true. You get goodwill, and when you give so much value that the person that you practically gave money for free, that other person feels obliged to give value back at some point. Like, they'll feel bad if they don't give you anything in return, right? So honestly, man, it's just fucking stupid how greedy some people are. Oh, I'm not gonna do free value. My services cost, bitch. Oh, all right, all right. Good luck. Like, good luck.
Good luck
So
with that.
it's just about creating goodwill. Even on my sales calls, even if I don't close, I still give value. Like, my calls can be an hour long, 2 hours long, and I can still give value, even if I don't close. And if I didn't close, all right, well, it wasn't a good fit either way. At least they got some value. So it's just about creating a goodwill in the market. And with it, your reputation will follow. That compounds. Like, more and more people will start to notice what you're doing and how genuine you actually are, and that you're not just some greedy copywriter or marketer who just wants money. So I just think it's fucking stupid that people are so obsessed about money without thinking about like the long term
journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is something else that actually you made me realize, as well as I wouldn't say I don't want to say names, but one of our mentors, but was that he even said it today, that he could see how mindset is changing, and it's kind of, I think most people are greedy because of going back to what you had said earlier about expectations. They want it now, they need it now. But if you really look at it, before you came into the game, there were people here for 4, 5 years who have just been learning and who haven't hit that goal level that you're about to. And I think it goes back to like, people just want that quick dopamine hit. And as soon as they don't get it, it's only a minute amount of people who actually keep on going. And that's kind of what distinguishes from like people who make it and get into the game, stay in it for 10 years, from people who've been here for 3 months, fuck up the market, then just leave, you know?
I also think that people who get into like entrepreneurship, because, well, nowadays it's basically, I have a business, I own a business. That's basically what entrepreneurship means nowadays. Like, oh yeah, I have a business. and maybe some people don't know, maybe some people do know, but I think that a lot of people get into like start their own business is simply to belong to a certain group of people. Like they think it's so cool to have a business, and whenever their friends tell people at the party that they have a business, people look better at that person who has a business. They're like, oh shit, I want that. People look at me as more important. That's higher status. I want status. So yeah, I think a lot of people get into this not because of their own needs, like deeper needs, but because of the needs of validation from others. That's what I think it is. Like for me, for example, like I just do it for I have one goal, and that just drives me all like I'm not gonna stop until I reach that goal. Like that's all it is. Like I don't really care about the Lambos or fucking Bugattis or whatever. Like that will probably follow. That's not like the main point. Because at some point it's gonna get way deeper than that. Way deeper. Like the longer you are in this game, the more you realize, oh shit, it's not about the Lambo anymore. It's not just about being the ultra top G who has all these supercars and women. It gets way deeper at some point. And it happened with me, happened with my friends. Like we don't really care about the materialistic items anymore. There's a deeper underlying purpose for us. So
You're like,
yeah,
as a marketer as well, when you understand how everything goes, it's so hard to buy. Like every time now I look at something, I'm like, hmm,
yeah.
really?
I mean, I only buy from people I genuinely like. Like if, for example, at Hermosi suddenly dropped a fucking course, I would buy it because like his book, I read his first book, fell in love with it, read it probably 5 times. I'm gonna get his book like as soon as possible. Like I'm ready. Or Alan, for example, I trust him. I have people who are like coached under him. That's also good. So at this point, I don't really follow sales pages or like read them or like the marketing itself. I listen more to the actual person selling it, and if I have any friends or I know people who have this product or service, I will go off of their opinion. And that's also social proof, which is a whole different topic. But yeah, it's because I do know what a lot of these marketers do. And I do understand, like even yes, I am a marketer. I do realize what people are doing, but sometimes to some degree I'm still affected by it and I allow it because it's like, oh, whatever. So, but yeah, I only follow other people's opinion now, not just marketing itself or advertising or whatever. Unless it's some bullshit thing from Wish that looks funny for $2, then I'll probably buy it. But other than that, not really. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
kind of closing it off, Jacob. Having been in the game again, for everyone who doesn't know, he's made thousands. He has been in this longer than everyone here. I'd like to say he's helped me personally, and he keeps on helping all of us. What is advice that you would give to people who are currently hitting that plateau, who have not gotten a first client, who are thinking about quitting, as well as for people who have already gotten that first client? And you kind of talked about getting more education and expanding your skill set, but what is some other piece of advice that you'd give to like people right in the between, the gap in between?
Well, first, it's not just thousands. I think it's a million now. But yeah. But anyway, dude, just keep going. Especially if you want to quit, just keep fucking going. Like, just keep like quitting is the only failure. That's it. That's for people who genuinely want to quit and think about quitting. Like, dude, sometimes even I think about quitting, but it's like, yeah, I could quit, but it would be stupid because I'm very close. So just keep going, man. Consistency and never giving up. Like there's nothing else.
You only
There's nothing
have.
else. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. Just keep going because it will pay off eventually. And if you keep if you're hitting this plateau, then I would suggest to just pause for a second, think, look around you, analyze the situation, strategize, and then keep moving. Because if you just do, like for example with outreach or outbound, cold emailing, if you just keep blasting emails all day long and you can clearly see nobody is fucking replying and nobody is interested, it doesn't make sense to just keep sending more emails if nobody's replying. That it means something is wrong. You need to stop for a second and you need to analyze everything. You need to deeply think about shit and then find a solution and keep going. But most people are so obsessed on this stupid hustle culture of do. And it's just fucking retarded, man. That's what it is, if I'm fully honest. Like, that's it. And that's for people who hit the plateau. Just break for a second, man. Like, I do work a lot, right? I do work quite a lot, but on Wednesdays, I don't do any work. I just learn. I just consume knowledge and I just let it sink in and I just, get that shit in. On Saturdays, I'm just chilling, really. I get some clarity and let my brain recharge. I may go out with buddies or hang with the fam or whatever. On Sundays, dude, I do like a full self-analysis of the week. Like, what went well, what went bad, what are my objectives again, what did I do wrong, how can I fix it, implement, execute, and then I plan out my week and then we go again. So each Sunday I just break for a second, analyze, and then move forward. And for people who do very well right now, just keep doing more of what you're doing. If you have a winning outreach and you're only doing 50 a day, just do 100 a day, 150 a day. Just do more of what's working. That's it. So, and then if you can't handle it, outsource, but keep doing more of what you're doing. So,
well, lastly, what do you see next for yourself? Like, where do you see yourself going in the next 1 to 2 years, 3, 10, whenever?
I think the next goal is mastering CRO for ecom. I think that's the next heading, like deep level stuff, and possibly moving to a different country. I don't know. That would be kind of neat, like Italy. And yeah, and then also I teamed up with a man who I call a brother, actually, of mine. We teamed up now, so we'll probably get some shit going together, and I hope that just scales. Both me and him just execute like crazy, get like 3-4 big clients and get shit ton of rev share retainers from them. So basically right now is just learning more. Just learn. And then money will follow.
Yeah, we can't wait for you to come back. Maybe next time you can come with your brother. Next time you're on the podcast. But Andy, you wanna finish it up?
Yeah, let the people know where to find you so you don't go unnoticed.
Yeah, I'm most active on my Twitter. So go to Jacob Styrna 1. I'm sure Andy can leave a link in the bio or description. My Instagram is also Jacob Styrna without any numbers or anything. So that's the only place you'll find me.
All right. It was a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It was awesome.